Hello and assalamu alaikum. Welcome to yet another discussion of ours of Progressive BAF. As usually, we are joined by two of our regular participants, Mr. Imtiaz Mirza, Mr. Mansoor Rashid, and I'm Shafat. I welcome you all. So today, what we are going to do is, this is since our channel is pretty new, and we did a segment a couple of days ago where we actually played a news clip presented by Palki Sharma from India, and we made some comments on it. We made, kind of like a rebuttal. And after that, I don't know how that video gained quite a bit of viewership, and also we got a lot of comments. Mostly, a lot of those comments probably were coming from some of the Indian viewers. And so we felt that we would be making another small segment actually addressing those comments or addressing some of the issues that we could get from those comments. So, Mirzaba, if you want to share the screen, please.
Yeah, let me share the screen. Yeah, the screen is shared.
Okay, so as we can see there's like a lot of comments. Just if you want to scroll down, so that the viewers can have a quick glance. And then I would say I already have some of those points noted down, so we will just go over those. Some of these comments were, I would say, criticism, constructive criticism, and some of those comments were actually just absolutely like hate speech or hate comments. Of course, some of those hate comments had religious connotations, Islamophobic languages. So I don't think we would be addressing those. We would only address the some of the constructive points or some issues that we feel that in order to generating a healthy debate, the issues that needs to be addressed, we will only. So the comments or the points basically that I could jot down from all these comments. So the first point I would say that Bangladesh is actually, the development that it has been seeing, it's only because of Sheikh Hasina. And so that's why she should, she should continue. Second point that I got there is Bangladesh, or we are being thankless to India. Number three is why should India care for us, the Bangladeshis? Number four is India doesn't want Bangladesh to become another Pakistan, and we are promoting Islamic radicalization, anti-India, anti-Hindu rhetoric. And number five is RSS in India is doing what needs to be done, and in Bangladesh democracy can only take place when the Islamic radicalization is not there. So these are the five comments. So today I would like to start with Rashad Bhai. I think you can go ahead.
Okay, I'll take the first one. Somebody wrote, "She is better for your country. Now you're developing because of her." So the Indian people they need to understand this. Our economy stand on two basic things. We have two money making industries that we are very good at. First one is RMG, ready-made garments. Second one is we have a lot of expat who works all around the world. That sends a very healthy chunk of remittance. These two industries happen because of the opposition party. Their leader, Major General Zia Rahman, who was president of Bangladesh, he started those. And in last 15 years, when Sheikh Hasina was in power in a continuous stretch, we haven't seen any policy changes by her government or any policy adaptation by her government, which could help us do better in these two days. Let me give you a solid example about it. In last 15 years, this government hasn't actually try to teach people some kind of vocational training so that people who goes to Middle East and earn a lot of money for the country, they can have a better job, and that can bring us more revenue, and these people can have a better life. Didn't happen. Just to give you an example. Now, development you see is basically all this infrastructure. This infrastructure are loan money coming from different entities, different countries. Now, you might think that they are having huge infrastructure projects. It looks beautiful. This country is developing. No. When Sheikh Hasina came in power, we have around $10 billion worth of foreign loans. Right now, we have more than $120 billion worth of foreign loans. Our future generation have to pay for it. And the worst part of it is every project this government has done, if that project is only worth $1 million, it costs around $2 to $3 billion every time. Again, it's 2 to 3 times the expenditure is happening compared to the other companies. I'll give you a very specific example. Is installing a 2,400 megawatt nuclear power plant from Russia for close to $3.5 billion. On the other hand, we are doing a 3,600 megawatt power plant by the same Russian company. It is costing us $10 billion. Just to give you an example how money is wasted. invested. 2,400 for $3.5 billion, 3,600 for $10 billion. Just to give you an example, this is what's happening. If you think that is a sustainable development, it is not. This is what's happening with us. All the projects she's doing, it is becoming a burden to Bangladesh because it's cost more than it should be. And when the cost is more than it should be, your ROI, return of investment, is becomes negative. I hope you understand the mirage of development you're seeing in Bangladesh. This is what it is. Development should be sustainable. We are not seeing any sustainable development. That is all we are about. Thank you.
All right, Mirza Bhai, the next point, if you want to cover that, why should the point that they're raising, why should India care for Bangladesh?
Yeah, thanks, Afad. So basically, just want to expand on what Rashid was saying. Very important points, but we should be short and sweet. The thing is that it's money in, money out. There is no real sustainable, like anything, like let's say this the huge mega projects going on. For example, the flyover. The reason for the flyovers is that to minimize the traffic jam. Dhaka city is one of the slowest city in the world. So if you guys, if our viewers, they're living in Delhi or Mumbai, they know how life could be, and Dhaka would be like twice as bad as like yours. So think about that. So it's just like taking the money, they're taking their cards like 90% and 10%, whatever is builded by them, it was useless. Like there is no clear picture or there is no clear point of doing those things, but they do it anyway. And the rest of the things, like for example, we had a big bridge called Pod the Bridge. It would happen anyway, like any government. So Bangladesh, this development is always like going. It never goes down. It never goes like whichever government comes in. So there is no point like this government should be like we are developing it.
It's not that they have a magical wand in their hand and they're waving that wand and everything is happening.
Exactly. And try like think about the crookedest president or prime minister you guys have. I think Lalu Prasad Yadav is one of the crookedest. Like I don't know.
Just like chief minister, not a prime minister. I think he was a chief minister.
Chief minister. Yeah. I mean, just think about the crooked like politician in India, right? So if I say that okay, this guy is better for India because he is better for Bangladesh, how does it feel like? Doesn't make any sense, right? It's the same when you guys say that okay, Sheikh Hasina is better for India, that's why it's better for Bangladesh. It doesn't make any sense to us. Just like come to a human level or try to understand our problem. Okay, anyway, I just want to like my main point is that why should you care about it? Actually, this whole episode should be will be answering this question: why should Indians care about Bangladeshi? Why? Okay, so let me give you the answer. Like, why should you care? First of all, you cannot change your names, right? Like we are geographically. Otherwise, like if you guys like just defeat Bangladesh and take them to into India, Akhand Bharat or something, it's just like we'll be always the neighbors. So you have to live with us for thousands of years, and our fate is like most of it is intertwined. And like think about as a person, do you want to live to other person who is like hostile to you and like don't think good to you, or like like always try to bully you or try to harm you or your children's, or you want to live peacefully with a neighbor that is good to you, right? So think about that point. You cannot change your neighbor. That's like a point. Second is that you guys are thinking like, why should Indian care about Bangladesh? I pointed out in the other video as well, but I'll reiterate the points again. Bangladeshis or Indians, they are in the same plane. You guys are controlled by the politician. It's not that your life is like magically better than us. You guys are bullied by the same politician. You don't have any power. You're the whole system is corrupt. Only thing you can think of is that like something like ISRO. Okay, you guys ship to the moon. Politics, nationalistic, some feeling you guys can have that we don't. From buying perspective, from economic perspective, from health perspective, everything they're in the same. We got the dirtiest air in the whole world. You guys, Delhi have the same. The water is polluted. The same with the India. Like same corruption, same nonsense, everything. So all these are like all third world country problems that we. So that's why you can find a solidarity because you are not a politician. If you're not like Modi, or if you're not some government or like a raw agent or something like that, you are helpless just as me or an average Bangladeshi. So why you should ask yourself why you should care about Bangladesh. If you try to understand our problem, then it would be better for you, because if Bangladesh do better, India will do. So don't think in a negative way. Think of the positive way that the neighbors, our trade will become bigger and we'll think about European Union, think about Canada and US. they're growing together. Why can't we grow together? What's the problem? We don't bought a ticket that you would be enemy for the rest of our lives, like thousands of years. What's wrong? Germany and France, they fought like many like a bloody, like worse than us, and somehow India and Bangladesh will be always enemy. I don't trust it. Like maybe it's your like worldview, but that's not mine. Just want to conclude.
Okay. So I believe you guys have left the biggest chunk of points for me. So first of all, that we are being thankless to India. Number two is India doesn't want Bangladesh to become another Pakistan, and we're spewing Islamic radicalization, anti-India, anti-Hindu rhetorics, stuff, and democracy can only take place in Bangladesh when there is no Islamic radicalization. Well, first of all, the undertone or the foundation of the question that why are we being thankless to India? Why should we be like, why do we need to be thankful to India? I mean, did India do us a favor? Well, now there are two sides of the question. First of all, yes, if we start from the history of 1971, our liberation war, yes, India did help us. But did India help us just to do us a favor? Absolutely not. Because for them, we kind of gave them the biggest gift on a platter that if you help us and if Bangladesh becomes independent for the rest of your lives, you don't have to fight a war, or you don't have to fight a war against Pakistan on two fronts. Forever, you get to close a front forever.
Nuclear powered Pakistan is Pakistan.
Yes. So that was the biggest chance you got because of us, because we started our war of independence.
Yeah.
And yes, for that, we are, of course, we thank India. We are grateful to India, but that does not mean out of that gratefulness, we would just, we keep on giving and giving without getting anything back in return.
Yeah.
We would have to give you our ports. We would have to give you our transit without getting any kind of monetary return. We would give you,
water.
our Sundarban,
Water.
so that, that Rampal, that hydroelectric, the electric project can go on. We would give everything to you. I mean, in return of what? Nothing. Our sovereignty, right? Our market. That doesn't, from where I see it, that doesn't look like, a help. To me, it looks like exploitation. And that is exactly what we don't want. We don't want to be exploited. Yes, we thank India for their support that they gave us in 1971. Yes, we would like to be, or we would like to have a good neighbor, a bigger neighbor, but we want to have that neighborhood or that friendship on mutual, beneficial terms.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want a master. We want a neighbor. We want a friend. We want a good neighbor. That's all we want. And like, if we're talking about democracy means what? The will of the people. That has to be respected. So now you cannot, my neighbor cannot dictate me that I will respect your democracy only if the democracy is serving my purpose.
Yep.
That's not democracy.
Yeah.
You cannot dictate the term. If you want to say that we will only support democracy in Bangladesh if that democracy only helps me or only serves my purpose, then that is not democracy.
Yeah.
That is the reason we couldn't vote for last 15 years.
Yes, you have to respect the will of the people regardless, whatever the people decides. And now you have to ask the question that why would the public sentiment in Bangladesh would go against India? You need to ask yourself that question.
Yeah.
If you are not antagonizing the people of Bangladesh, then the majority, the feeling of the majority of people of Bangladesh will not be against India. Because we don't want a hostile neighbor. We want to stay in good terms with our neighbor.
Yeah.
It could be anyone. It could be India. It could be, because we only have two neighbors, India and Myanmar, and we want to have good relationship with both of our neighbors. But that has to be on friendly terms, on mutually beneficial terms. That cannot be, that friendship cannot continue on like exploitatory terms. That's exactly, that is kind of what, that's the dialogue that we want to have with our friends, with our neighbors. And I believe that should cover, and we are not, and I don't remember, because I was watching that video once again before starting, recording this one today. And I don't remember saying anything about, the Hindus or any anti-Indian or anti-Hindu. I don't remember saying anything like that. Why should I? Because we have a big percentage of our population who follow different religions. Mostly they're the Hindu people. I have a lot of Hindu friends. When I was in the army, I served in the army for a long time. I had a lot of Hindu soldiers under me. I have never felt anything different about these people, because to me, he's my friend. He is my boy. My under command. And I would, treat them. A Hindu Bangladeshi is a Bangladeshi. A Buddhist Bangladeshi is a Bangladeshi. A Christian Bangladeshi is a Bangladeshi. That's how I look at him. He is a Bangladeshi or she is a Bangladeshi. Why would we promote any sort of violence or any sort of antagonization against any religion. Why? I mean, we don't do that.
Yes. Yeah. So just want to conclude to the point that because as Shafat was mentioning that you guys, we only have love for Indians. Like I can talk about Javed Akhtar's lyrics for hours. I can like Sholay is my favorite movie of all time. Like I can even maybe I watched it 100 times. I don't know. Any Indians, I can challenge him on any tidbits. Even the slightest that I can talk about. I can talk about Amir Khan. I can talk about Satyajit Ray. I read all his work, everything. Rabindranath Tagore was one of my favorite. Sharat Chandra is one of my favorite. Gulzar, A.R. Rahman, and Arundhati Roy. All of these are our favorite people. Like you can talk to not only me. I'm like an average boy from Bangladesh, right? Anybody, like most of the people you talk to, they can talk to you for hours about the culture because we grew up with like similar like culture. There are lots of Bangladeshi people, like Bengali speaking people in Bollywood movies. Like you probably heard about them. Like there are lots of Bengali influence. The stories you grew up with, these are from Bangladesh or West Bengal, right? So that's why I brought out this point that we have the similar culture. It's not that we hate or anything. And why they're talking about like we are Muslims or they're like swearing at us in the comments. I don't find it's bizarre because we never talk about anything about Hindu or Muslim. We deliberately just bypass. We just only discussed about Hasina or whatever Palki Sharma is doing or some propaganda and some history, right? There is nothing anti-Indian about it. Like if I tell you a history, does it become anti? You can go and check. You can go and fact check me. You can go and fact check whatever we say. How come? Why this like hate come from? Just because we are conversing, it doesn't mean that we have to be inside. That means that you are a bigoted person. Like if you do something like somebody is giving me points that okay, Bangladesh do this thing bad, or Hasina did this thing bad, or Zia did something bad. It's not that I can like attack him. Okay, he's Hindu or something. Some derogatory terms. Nonsense, right? Complete nonsense. Okay, we only
All right.
have love for you guys. Thank you so much for viewing. And if you have any comments, anything you want to cover, especially from the Indian audience, please comment it down. We'd love to hear your voice and we would thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for watching this episode. Here, we would like to conclude. And before I conclude, once again, I would just reiterate what all of us had been saying that we don't want hostile neighbor. We want to be on friendly terms with our neighbors. We want to be friendly with our neighbors. But that friendship has to be on mutually beneficial terms. The friendship has to be mutual with mutual respect for each other.
Yeah.
And so that's all we want to. That's
Yeah,
all we
we
want.
don't want
actually.
master and servant relationship. We want
Yes, exactly.
we want friends. We want good neighbors.
Okay. So if you have any other any queries, any points, any criticism, please feel free to let us know in the comment box. We would definitely we would fall back and we would try to address those. And other than even without without any those, if you have any suggestion or if you want us to cover any specific story, please put forward those suggestions. We would love to get those suggestions. And please be with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.